A organization comes at the view on the begin of the film, whose paintings became to locate the oil whilst digging the floor. The people are drilling the floor as in keeping with routine. They are digging the floor. They locate a few symptoms and symptoms of existence with inside the intensity of the well. It became indicating as there's lifestyles of existence. Someone surely remains here. All geologists get surprised. But the geologist's head says, this operation must now no longer be stopped. The floor must be drilled extra with a purpose to find out what's here. The underground water device creates an issue. Hydrostatic stress increases. As an end result, that underground device is damaged. And 3 mysterious creatures seem out of doors from there. The head of the organization receives concern because of this. As our organization can be banned if this information travels fast. We can be known as for prosecution. Why did we dig that vicinity? From in which did those creatures seem? Then that geologist says to the organization head that those creatures can be located out if we recognize what's the eating regimen of these creatures. The head says to the geologist that we must take this step covertly. So no person can also additionally come to recognize approximately it at all. In the following scene, a boy is proven on the alternative aspect, whose call is Trip, and he receives training in excessive school. He used to are living together along with his mom and stepfather. Trip serves in a scrapyard in his leisure, where the antique motors and vans had been delivered. In the equal way, a truck is delivered there. Scrapyard's proprietor tells him on Trip's asking that it's been observed from the vicinity of digging. A superb mishap had passed off there. The proprietor says to him, it is your truck now. Because you may make it utilized. I am now no longer information approximately it. When Trip involves the scrapyard at night, looking at his pickup truck, he visualizes. Then he hears an information wherein the information of explosion passed off with inside the morning, is being told. How threatening it became. It became a largest explosion. After that, he examines that a car has drilling hole. Trip is once more visible with inside the equal scrapyard. He hears a valid whilst he's beginning an engine. That sound very mysterious. He movements beforehand to test it. He movements to that aspect, however that aspect starts to cover itself from him. It is going in the back of the oil drums. Trip throws a device closer to it which reasons the falling of all oil drums. Trip runs to the cellar and hides himself. But that mysterious creature additionally reaches there. Trip runs out of doors in worry and locks the cellar. He became now no longer getting the factor from in which this creature has come. Why is it after him? Meanwhile, it smiles visible that police additionally method there. Opening the cellar, they discover nothing. Trip tells them that it turned into a significant being. It has emptied all oil drums. I actually have witnessed that it turned into hidden in the back of the oil drums. Afterwards, all oil drums dropped. I am now no longer telling a lie. But they don't consider him. And they go away from there. Next day, Trip converses together along with his elegance fellow Meredith. SH has a eager hobby with inside the biology subject. She tells that 15,000 species are found daily. There are already many species with inside the world. Some of them had been found at the same time as others are being found each year. They are in a huge numbering. After that, Trip spreads the oil everywhere, coming to his scrapyard so as to test. Either this oil additionally in reality captures the eye of these creatures. In the identical way, a creature seems earlier than him, which has the multi-lengthy legs. And it quenches its urge for food with the oils of the drums. It way that Trip doubted correctly. Trip is left astonished, seeing it. He attempts to speak with this creature. He additionally gives it any other oil tank. Meanwhile, company's personnel method there. And they ask whether or not something passed off there yesterday. Because they recognize there may be a significant creature which could damage you. That large creature hides with inside the truck of Trip throughout this time. Actually, that creature turned into hiding to look the one's people. Trip's fellow Meredith additionally comes there. And Trip attempts to entertain her. and Trip attempts to inform her. She says, "Drop me to my residence. I haven't any time." On the alternative side, it smiles visible that company's personnel pay attention a mysterious sound close to the truck. They continue closer to it and Trip pushes his elegance fellow into his truck. And that creature drives off truck promptly from that junkyard. They come to the residence of Meredith wherein Trip modifies the truck. He makes such an area wherein that creature can get a keep over it properly. Witnessing that creature, Trip tells his elegance fellow that it's miles a pointy and outstanding creature. He says, one in all its gain can be this, that it's going to paintings like an engine for our truck. Then they force off from there. They pass to test whether or not that creature can paintings as an engine or now no longer. At first sight, that creature starts to force the truck promptly. It way that they have been guessing right. Trip makes that creature take petrol that is the shape of a oil. But many injuries arise because of this. Company's geologist attempted to recognize what's the food plan of each creatures. Then he is aware of after learning that their survival relies upon the oil. And they fill their urge for food, taking oil. Trip encounters his father and he indicates him the area wherein he lives. Where they communicate approximately that mishap happened on that day, sitting there. Trip's father says to him, not anything may be stated approximately this. These creatures is probably the purpose of that explosion that happened there. It can be feasible that the purpose of that explosion is handiest gasoline. Coming outside, Trip encounters the company's personnel close to his truck. Actually, his father had knowledgeable the company's associates. That one of the creatures amongst them is in our house, with inside the custody of Trip. They come to understand that creature is with inside the truck. They power off due to that creature's speedy riding. It method that creature drives that truck swiftly wherein Trip and Meredith are seated. And company's personnel can't seize them. But company's personnel have been now no longer allowing them to go. They pursue them. That creature and Trip are riding that truck at the roofs. It method it became riding the truck at the same time as leaping it highly. They get away from them at the same time as leaping the truck at the teach. And they flee from the company's crew, leaping at the teach while it passes earlier than them. Then they attain a seaside wherein Meredith father's searching cabin is located, where he used to hunt. Then they spend the night time there. That creature feels pleasure, witnessing the water there. And it starts off evolve to take bathe there. Trip offers his phrases to that creature that he'll certainly ship it to its home. Company's scientist is researching the one's creatures. And he involves understand that those creatures are very brilliant. Their mind works speedy. Company's head calls them and says that our company's infected water is being dispatched to the alternative city. So we can carry those creatures with it. We will ship them with it. So they'll be thrown into the intensity of the well. Scientist tells him, those creatures have feelings. So it'll now no longer be exact to kill them. Then it's miles scene, that creature chases that truck, which is wearing its dad and mom. Both vehicles stop, accomplishing a company. And Meredith and Trip additionally pursue them. They understand that they may be the dad and mom of the creature. They are right here. Meantime, company's crew additionally processes there. And that creature is knocked out. Trip and his buddy is added to the company's head. He says to them, just overlook that creature. Company's scientist says to them, leaving from there, that he can't see those creatures dying. The speedy vehicles are required to carry them out from there. Trip thinks that I will unfasten them from right here. I will carry right here some speedy vehicles. Trip thinks, the one's vans are found in his scrapyard. So he talks together along with his head. Now his head helps him. And he receives extra vans. He brings change in the one's vans. And he makes them for the dad and mom of that creature. Now the one's creatures are carried on the one's vans. But that scientist reaches Trip using that truck. That creature meets with its dad and mom. And 3 of them conceal with inside the truck. 3 of the hints are pushed off from there. And organization's vans additionally attain the open field, chasing them. Trucks force to the manner of mountainous area, confronting them. It is the manner in which the mountain variety begins off evolved. Company's truck pushes Trip toward the ditch. As a result, he begins off-evolve striking with the truck door. Then that creature rescues his lifestyles from there. Trip is aware of that a truck is packed with poison, which goes to be stuffed in the one's holes through the organization. They strive tough to prevent that truck, because the one's creature would possibly lose their lives for no purpose in the event that they did as such. They battle tough to prevent the one's organization's vans to attain that area. But the manor is about on fire, so Trip and that creature can't preserve to force. At the identical time, Trip's stepfather reaches there, arranging a huge truck, and he assists them. Trip crosses the mountains alongside together along with his companions, and he destroys the truck packed with poison. It way the poison become blasted, which become going to be stuffed in the one's holes. Meanwhile, in addition, they technique the area of accident, and scientist attempts to prevent the poison machine. That creature's dad and mom are shifting toward its home. Trip's truck is driven to the drilling hole. It way that Trip's truck become being driven to the drilling hole, so he falls into the intensity of the wall. Here that creature once more rescues Trip, and it leaves him at the floor of the ground. Now that creature and its dad and mom together with different creatures depart, enjoyable him. Now the advantageous matters become this: that organization become revealed. Its all terrible ways were uncovered earlier than everyone. That what become organizations aim toward the creatures? Now the organization's head is seized to become manipulator. Trip alongside together along with his stepfather builds an amazing engine for a truck, because he become already inquisitive about it. So he builds an excellent engine for a truck to satisfy his desire. In the quit of the movie, it's far discovered that Trip and his fellow Meredith are carefully befriended. There became exceptional finishing of this film, because the one's creatures had additionally been secured from any harm. Trip had constructed an amazing engine for his truck, and he had additionally befriended Meredith. Above all, Company's head became seized. This film completes right here joyfully. Movie Monster Trucks was released in year 2016 and is directed by Wedge. This movie got a review of 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. The main cast of the movie are Lucas Till, Jane Levy, and Thomas Lennon. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe our channel 99 Movie Recaps.